All right, we've got another cool person here to talk to. This is Jack Pratt. He is Senior Political Director for the Environmental Defense Fund. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
You all have a lot of stuff going on around the debates. Talk to us about your presence here and your approach.
Oh, we do, yeah. We've got members on the ground, of course, in Miami who are very interested in climate action. And then we're doing a bunch of things to try and help bring awareness and attention to the issue. So we have some ads that are running on billboards around the area. We've got some taxi cab ads and some other ways to kind of help elevate the issue around these debates.
And, I mean, are you happy so far? There was some discussion of climate last night. Not, I think I saw it was like 6 minutes or something around
right.
that for a very important issue. But on the other hand, when you ask Democratic voters about their top concerns, climate is one of them. All of the candidates have at least had to talk about climate. Some of them have put out very ambitious and detailed plans. So kind of overall, how do you assess the state of the race with regards to climate?
Well, you're right. I mean, the voters clearly want the candidates to talk about climate. In fact, polling has shown that it's the issue they most want the candidates to address in these debates. And we're eager to see them talk about it more, of course. But we are happy that they've both announced robust plans to address climate change, and also that there was some topic of debate around climate last night. Of course, we'd like to see more going forward.
Did anyone stand out to you last night on the issue of climate in particular?
I think several of them actually, made a good point of addressing the question that was asked about climate and then bringing it into the debate before that. Because we think, look, climate's more than just one issue. It's a jobs issue. It's an economic issue. It's a health issue. So, it ought to be involved in all the questions and all the parts of these debates.
And how do you assess the candidates so far in terms of the plans that they put out? I know Biden took some heat when some of his advisors went, I think, to the AP and said he was looking for a middle ground on climate, and people didn't like that too much. The plan he put out, I think, went a little bit further than what people were expecting. But what's your assessment?
That's right. I mean, look, it's clear to us that there's going to be a spectrum. We're aware there's a spectrum among these 20 candidates in terms of their approach to climate change. The most important thing for us is that they have aggressive, bold plans to deal with the climate crisis, and they have a plan of how to get there, how to get this achieved. And so that's what we want to see out of these debates.
Yeah. How much credit do you give to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for making climate a center, like a focal point of conversation? Because her focus on the Green New Deal seems to have really spiked a very specific interest in urgent, transformational climate action.
I mean, it's clear that AOC, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, and the people that she's been meeting with, the Sunshine Movement and otherwise Sunrise Movement and others, have really been energized around this debate, and that's great. And of course, we're happy to see a bunch of people here in Miami that are familiar faces that have been around this issue for a long time. It's clear, though, in 2016, there were, I think, no questions about climate during the entire series of debates.
Are you serious?
That's right. And then here last night, at least there were 7 minutes about it. So again, we want more.
Progress.
It's progress. But there's just, you just feel the energy around the issue more this cycle than last.
Should there be an entire debate on climate change?
Whether there's a debate on climate entirely, that's great, but we think that, honestly, it ought to be part of every debate. Again, I think climate is more than just one issue. It's a jobs issue, it's an economy issue, and it's a public health issue. And I think that, again, whether it's one debate or part of every debate, it ought to be part of all these plans, an important part of these questions.
Do you see generational differences in how people view the importance of addressing climate change?
It's interesting you ask. We actually have released some polling that showed that, maybe somewhat counterintuitively, the issue of climate is important to people across a wide range of age groups. So it's not, although there's a lot of energy coming from the young people because they're, as some say, at the business end of the climate issue.
They're the ones who have to live with it.
Yeah, exactly. However, especially as we're talking about Democratic primary voters at this point, this is a really important issue across the entire spectrum, and it's across a lot of the early primary states.
In terms of curbing our fossil fuel consumption, I mean, do you all have a position in terms of where candidates need to be and kind of what a red line is? What are you hoping to hear from candidates on
We're
that?
hoping to see a plan that gets us to 100% clean energy. And there are multiple ways to do that, and we're open to hearing different perspectives on how to accomplish that. But it's really important that we set a clear goal of where we want to get, and that's 100%.
Good.
Thank you.
It's going to be interesting to watch tonight, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you very much.